Three, two. One, go!
Problem? Oh man, there's no problem. Like you're doing great too! Looks like three good friends of ours who don't need the help of another.
On a Friday night yet.
Three, two, one, go! 3, 2, 1, go! Three, two, one, go! 3, 2, 1, go!
Let's see what she can do. Wow, amazing. Love, stunning. I'm obsessed.
Save up to $950 on unlocked Google Pixel 8 phones at Best Buy with qualified trade-in.
Stay up and I brighten the room up. I trust how I shine like
repeats as long as it needs to. And then we've got another routine which sends the 32-bit code. So you just pass it the code here as a long 32-bit long value, and then we have the generate the lead impulse here, as we saw on the oscilloscope, 9,000 microseconds. We turn the carrier on for, that's 9 milliseconds, and then we turn the carrier off for 4.5 milliseconds there. So we've generated our lead impulse, and then all we do is we go in a for loop here, and we send out all of our 32 bits or 4 bytes in sequence. I'm just doing that using a mask here, so I'm just masking the most significant bit and then shifting it 1 bit at a time at the end of it. That's why I did it as a 32-bit word. It's just easier that way than, say, 4 individual bytes, saves a few lines of code. And then, of course, we start out by generating the 1 bit time, 562 microseconds, the carrier frequency, and then we have to determine via that masking if our current bit is a high or a low. If it's a high, then of course we have to wait the 3 bit times, dead time, to signify a 1 in the NSE protocol. But if it's a 0, then we only have to wait 1 extra bit time. Very, very easy. And that's it. It just repeats for all 32 bits. And one thing I forgot to mention on the oscilloscope capture is I also noticed a stop bit at the end of it. So it was actually had a 33rd bit on there, just a stop bit of 1 bit time. So I've added that in there at the end, and then I've just got a main routine here. All it does is calls a setup, defines the pins, and then it sends my infrared code to switch the record mode of my camera on. It waits 5 seconds, and then I send the code to stop recording. Easy. And no surprises for guessing it didn't work first go. No, it wasn't Murphy's Law, as a matter of fact. I kind of expected it to possibly not work first go, and I'll show you why. So what I've done is I've hooked up my logic analyzer here, because to analyze something like this, we really need to look at that code output. You can do it on an oscilloscope, but a logic analyzer is easier. We can capture it here. Now I've hooked up my Saley logic analyzer to the LED output. I'm going to sample at 8 megahertz here, more than fast enough. 1 meg sample is good enough, and negative edge trigger here. So we'll start this, and I'll press my reset button on my Arduino. I've already downloaded the sketch, and looky what we have here. We have our code. That's exactly the same as what we saw on the oscilloscope. And if we go in here, we can look at that carrier frequency of the lead-in pulse there. And if you have a look on the right-hand side, I can't move my cursor over, but it says the pulse width is 16.8 microseconds, and the frequency is 29.9 kilohertz, nowhere near the 38 kilohertz that we actually need. No wonder it doesn't work. Why? Well, it's pretty obvious, and those people who are experienced with these sort of things probably already know. Because in my timing loop here, my IR carrier loop, I've assumed that it's 26 microseconds. Okay, I've rounded that down near enough to generate the loop timing in here. That's not going to be a real major issue. The major issue here is this delayed microseconds. You see it's got 13, so we're expecting to get 13 microseconds delay, but look, we don't. We get 16.8. So there's another 3.8 microseconds or thereabouts added to that. So it's not 13 microseconds, it's 16.8. Why? Because, well, let's assume that the delay microseconds routine is fairly accurate, okay? It's not going to be absolutely, spot on, but it's going to be near enough. What's taking all the time? Well, the only other code in here is this digital write routine. And this digital write routine does actually take time. In this case, it takes a couple of microseconds to execute. And there's faster ways to do it, but we're just using the digital write routine because that's the basic way in the Arduino. So let's compensate, tweak this thing. I am holding my tongue at the right angle, and let's knock that 3 or 4 microseconds off. Let's change that to 9 microseconds, and let's upload that. We've uploaded. We can go back in here. We can start this again. We can run our Arduino's running. Oops, it's already captured it because I've got an auto start routine in there. And you'll notice that the timing is different. Look at this, 12.75 microseconds now, and we're close to our 38 kilohertz. We're now 39.4 kilohertz. And as I said, you don't have to be spot on, but that's going to be near enough. And as it turns out, this now works. And sorry about the audio and video quality now. I'm at home actually doing this. I don't have my main camera, so I'm shooting it on my old compact. It's night, and well, yeah, it's not going to be very good. Anyway, I have my Canon camcorder here. I've got my Freetronics 11 down here. I've got an infrared LED hooked up and pointed to it via a 220 ohm dropper resistor, and if I press the reset button here, it should start recording, and then 5 seconds later should send the code again to switch it off. So let's give it a go. Bingo, it started recording, and it won't quite go to 5 because it took a second or two to boom, but there you go, works a treat. And just a small trap for young players here, with any sampling system like this, the resolution is going to be dependent upon your sample rate. Now we're sampling at 8 megahertz here, and you'll notice that it's over on the right hand side there, it's saying the pulse width is giving us that to 3 decimal places or 1 nanosecond resolution. Well, that's obviously complete bullshit. It's saying it's 12.875 microseconds. It's not possible to get 1 nanosecond resolution on that, but 8 megahertz is more than good enough to get the timing requirement for this particular application. But let's resample that at, say, a lower rate of 500 kilohertz. Now, if you invert 5, let's start that, capture it, and here we go. And if you invert 500 kilohertz, of course, you get 2 microseconds. You'll notice that, there we go, it's jumping between 2 and 14 microseconds, but it's still showing 2 decimal places beyond that. That's the software not knowing what it's doing, and this might be tricking you into thinking that that pulse width is precisely 14.00 microseconds when it's not. Your resolution isn't good enough to determine that. In this case, this really isn't quite good enough for this particular system. It's almost in the ballpark, but not quite. Anyway, just be aware of that. Trap for young players. So that's it. Very, very simple to write your own code, reverse engineer a protocol. You don't even need an oscilloscope. You can do it using very simple and basic tools, a PC or whatever. So no complex test equipment required here to reverse engineer that NEC protocol, and not much work at all. Very, very simple. So I hope you enjoyed that. There were lots of stuff involved in this. Oscilloscopes, reverse engineering, and then we had a little fail there in our source code and tweaking, some logic analyzer stuff. It's all happening. Fantastic. So if you liked the video, please give it a big thumbs up. And as always, if you want to discuss it, jump on over to the EUV blog forum, and no correspondence will be entered into on the source code. Thank you very much. Catch you next time.